Welcome back, people. It is episode 13 of season 4 of the Taxi Squad podcast. We are recording this on March 27th. You will be hearing this on March 28th. Happy birthday to my brother, first and foremost.
Richard,
shout out to that guy. Strange and unusual topics ahead of us. Who gambles on sports? We got some topics to get into. We got some baseball. Happy opening day. It's exciting stuff. Baseball's finally back. Some NFL and UFL talk. And last but not least, the NCAA tournament. It's the Taxi Squad podcast.
woo!
Come on, everybody, celebrate. The Taxi Squad is here today. So lose the blues, kick back and relax for now. They talk about sports and stupid stuff. They're probably wrong and it might get rough. So welcome back. It's the Taxi Squad. Yeah.
Vince, how the hell are you?
Doing good, dude. I don't know if you can see this with my fingerprint, but I'm looking a little like you today. Yeah, I just got back from Jamaica, as we talked about last week.
Nice.
2 of the days, lovely, very, very beautiful and hot, and very hot. I was sweating. And then the other day I did get food poisoning. So
no.
This you pretty much know. The people don't know. I woke up and it was like fucking Verdansk, the war zone map in there, because I was just going ham. Like, who was going to win, me or the gut? Not going to TMI you guys, but whoa.
Yeah.
You know, that bathroom's seen better days, let me tell you.
Yeah. This episode is sponsored by Abino. So if you got the farts, if you got okay, right?
I don't think you've done old Italian on this podcast.
Your asshole are hot. You take the pill before you eat. Right?
Yeah.
Right?
I don't think you've ever done old Italian on this podcast.
Well, there you go. Now you got it.
It's really good. But I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to be back.
Good. So you caught a bit of Montezuma. Do we have an idea of what it was potentially?
Look, man, I ate essentially the same thing as my good old buddy AJ ate, and he was fine. He was more than fine, actually. He was having a blast, and he would check in throughout the day and be like, "What's up, dude?" And I'm like, okay.
Oh, man.
The saving, I don't know what it was. Part of me feels like maybe like some food was washed with some water that wasn't purified or something, and I got that. That's what I'm thinking. The benefit of that, and something that we'll talk about a lot today, is I got to watch wall-to-wall basketball all Saturday from the comfort of my hotel bed, and just got room service, just got everything sent to me, and I was just sitting there like a lug watching basketball. So there's worse things in this world, man.
So I'm assuming you got a couple saltines and some ginger ale, and you were just chilling.
No, I was drinking a lot of liquid IV for sure.
Okay.
They didn't have ginger ale, but what I did do is get a BLT and a little bit of the soup of the day that they had that day, and that did me all right. Didn't kill me. Next day we went to the Italian spot. Jamaicans killed it on the Italian, surprisingly.
Really?
Bad portion size. We got calamari. No. We got calamari. Guess how many rings we got?
5.
3. They gave us 3. So we ordered like 7 things of calamari because I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, see, this is the problem with resort food in general, or if you go to an all-inclusive, it's like the food's always a little sus.
Yeah.
You know, it's like eating on a cruise.
Yeah.
You know, the food's not always going to be great.
Yeah.
It's usually microwaved.
Well, I got beef tenderloin. The beef tenderloin was good.
Yeah.
It was just more so like, hey, I'm an Italian guy. I eat like an Italian guy. Like, what are we doing here? You know? But it was all right. Overall, it was a good time, but goddamn, I'm happy to be back in Chicago. I got out of the plane and I was wearing shorts, and I'm like, I don't care. It was like 45. Wonderful feeling.
Man, my blood is thin. I found that's a new thing for this guy.
Yeah.
The last time I felt like 40, 45, and I had a coat on, I was still like, ugh. Like like at night here though, like if it's in the 50s, I'm fine to walk out, like all good. But if I got exposed to 30s right now, I don't think I'd be doing too hot. I think it's officially thin. But it's good for you. The blood thinning out's good for you.
Mild winter. I'm exactly the same way, honestly. Like right now, anytime it's below 30, it's horrible, and then anytime it's above like 40, I'm like everything's great. So, and we only had a couple 30-degree and lower days this year. So, knock on wood.
Yeah,
that's going to continue.
Yeah, hopefully spring is soon due to the Phil guy who
the
saw
Pucks of Dawns, which we already talked about.
We've talked about him many times. All right, so we got some strange and unusual topics this week. These are just basketball related. So, Vince, we were talking about this shortly before the show.
Yes,
Bow Bow,
Bol Bol,
Bobo,
Bol Bol,
Bol Bol.
Yeah.
All right.
Bol.
He plays on the Phoenix Suns, so close to home. And he had some choice words for none other than the Wembanyama kid.
Yes, he did, dude. Bro, Bol Bol. Okay, so for people that don't know, Bol Bol is like 7'3". Big dude. Big, skinny guy. Similar build to Victor Wembanyama. His dad did play in the league. Manu Bol. You see the famous pictures of him and Muggsy Bogues next to each other, and it's... So, Bol Bol's a big dude. Probably the only guy that's comparable in size to Victor Wembanyama, and he was trying to guard him in this scenario.
Okay.
It was a lot. So, essentially, Bol Bol's guarding him. He kind of does a little reach in. It wasn't really a foul, but Victor's going to get his fouls. And after that, caught on the hot mic on live TV, he says, "Bro, you dick riding, bro." I get it, is what he said. I get it. Hey, it's Victor Wembanyama. I understand, but you're dick riding. I just want to make that clear really quick.
Now, dude, let's make all things really. So, did he say this to a male ref or was it a female ref? Because there are female refs in the NBA now.
It looks like a female ref on that. I'm not sure it would have mattered. I think I'm not sure it would have mattered because they're getting calls regardless.
So he's becoming kind of like modern age, like LeBron.
Yeah.
Because LeBron, when he first came in the league, was getting every foul call as if he was like Kobe or some shit.
Yeah, that happens with all of the premier players, though. Because Kobe was getting all the calls, too.
Yeah, it's like the Tom
Luka
Brady
gets
theory.
all the calls. Yeah, Tom Brady got all the calls. Pat Mahomes gets all the calls.
Mahomes gets all the calls.
Yeah, I've never seen proof of Mahomes getting all those calls, but I do believe that he is.
Oh God! Don't get me
I'm gonna
going.
live on that forever. I think it's just the superstar treatment, dude. And Bol Bol's been, in the G League a little bit, coming up and down, all that stuff. And he's like, "This is my time to shine. This is my assignment." And it sucks that way.
I think Bol Bol has been a nice addition to that team. I think he can put on a little bit more size, but all in all, I do believe he's been a nice addition to that team. Yeah. Considering all things that after they lose, what's his nuts to Portland.
DeAndre? I think they're okay with that.
Yeah, I think they're fine without him. And Bol Bol's had nights where he goes off. Double doubles on rebounds and assists. I mean, you love that.
He was one of those high school mixtape guys. I remember seeing his high school mixtape, and I'm like, this guy's a monster. He was just so much bigger than everybody else.
The lineage helps, right?
Yeah.
The lineage does in fact help.
Yep.
I do believe that, just like if your father played professional sports, like you look at Joe Alt, his dad, former offensive lineman, he's going to be a top draft pick. You look at Marvin Harrison Jr. A lot of the Chicago sport fans are calling in, talking Marvis Harrison.
Oh God,
old Marvis.
This weekend, dude, I heard Marv. I'm like, oh, is he going by Marv now?
He's Marv.
I heard Marvin Harris a couple times. Marvin Harris. Is that Gary Harris's brother? Yeah, there's not hard. Not a hard name, all things considered. Very easy to understand. Harrison is pretty normal. We had a president with that name. Don't know why it's so difficult for people to pronounce.
Yeah, considering his dad was like a legend.
Oh yeah. Hey, shoot or shoot, they say.
Shoot. I was about to say, allegedly.
Come on now.
There's some shooting going on off the field, but you never know.
Hey,
Syracuse
How do you think that Marvin Harrison Jr. got born, dude? Someone had to shoot at some point. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. And to
Skeet
your
jump.
point, shoot or shoot.
Skeet shooting,
Now,
baby.
Speaking of shooting their shot potentially, and in this case, very much so missing. Raptors, I believe he's a center. Jontay Porter is being investigated by the NBA for potential alleged illegal gambling.
Listen, dude, this is crazy. This, when I saw it originally, I was like, what is he doing? So, brother of Michael Porter Jr., Jontay Porter. I want to make that clear. He is of family blood, but Jontay not as successful as his brother Michael there. Multiple incidents of quote-unquote irregularities have been found where he removes himself from the game when he's under the prop bet where the line is listed. So, for instance, on January 26th against the Clippers, there was an increased betting line for Porter where he would set around 5.5 points, 4.5 rebounds, 1.5 assists. There was also an over-under for three-pointers made, 0.05. He played 4 minutes and then left the game from an aggravated eye injury that he already had. And when you go back to look at it, Russell Wilson didn't touch his eye. And then he's like, my eye. And they're like, all right. Didn't do it. March 20th against the Kings, Porter played 3 minutes before exiting because of what the Raptors said, an illness. So all of those bets got in again. His sportsbook over-unders were 7.5 and 5.5. Next day, DraftKings reports the media released that his prop bets were the number one moneymaker of the night in the NBA. Mind you, Jontay Porter, no one knows who he... Like, did you know who he was before this?
I had no idea that Michael Porter Jr. had a brother.
Yeah, so this is the thing. There's no reason that the highest money in all of DraftKings should be Jontay Porter by any means. So now the NBA is like, hey, maybe we should investigate this because this might be an issue. There's a couple more examples of that as well that I will leave be right now, but this is just to say that whatever's happening is happening. It's happening. This is happening.
Well, this was like all that speculation last season in the NBA when Green on the Golden State Warriors, Draymond was supposed to play the game. He had like an over-under, literally checked in for the tip-off, then they pulled him for the rest of the game. So everybody like bet the under on him and won a shit ton of money.
Yeah, and that was more of a random happenstance. I feel like more than this. Like, this is a repeated issue. Like, I don't think Draymond Green was betting on the games. I think for a fact Jontay Porter's betting on the games. Also, he does pitch a bunch of cryptocurrency on his social media. So, if you're talking about a guy that likes to risk it a little bit, this is probably the right guy to talk about.
See, this is interesting to me that gambling being legalized and gambling in sports has gone hand in hand for many, many years now.
Right.
I mean, decades plus.
Literally, since the beginning of sports, there was gambling.
Right. And a lot of it was tied to the mob, especially in the 60s, 70s, 80s.
Yeah, in the 20th century, yeah.
You know, they would get in with these guys. They'd go to their clubs. They'd do those things where, all right, we find a young guy just graduated college or is in college. Hey, if you throw that game, we'll give you, 10 G's or 5 G's, generational money for some of these guys who were broke on scholarship, just making whatever the university was given to them because NIL didn't exist. So in theory, the mob was the first NIL, but you had to, get a little back then. If that's the common stance, but that's what they would do to these guys.
So ahead of their time.
They were ahead of their time.
The Italian mob.
Your over-under on this game is looking like, 73. So
what
maybe
if we have a little whoopsie-daisies and then something happens?
Whoopsie-daisy, you miss a couple shots and you get a couple, not saying lose the game, but don't win by that much.
Right. There's famously the Black Sox. Famously
the Chicago Blacks. Shoeless Joe didn't buy in, though, supposedly.
Innocent.
Allegedly.
I believe he's innocent. Him and Ty Cobb have the worst PR that's ever happened.
And then, Shoeless Joe became Italian in that fucking movie with the cornfield.
I know,
dude. How in the fuck is Ray
Why
Liotta
is this?
Shoeless Joe?
Yeah, he walks out. He's like, I'm fucking Shoeless Joe. Like, how does this make any
I'm
sense?
Shoeless Joe. Let me get a comical
Yeah.
sandwich.
Yeah, he done. I'm fucking Shoeless Joe. Oh shit, like crazy, insane.
But don't
yeah.
let him step off the field. Don't let him step off the field for the record, because then they just die.
Then
or
they
go
just
back to their own
dissipate.
self.
Right.
Yeah.
But to your point, and everything we were talking about, Jontay Porter, big doggy doo-doo right now he's in. There's no way he gets out of this unscathed.
Well, he should get out of it unscathed.
Why?
Because I bet you the worst thing that happened, he gets fined. I mean, at this stage of the game, like, that old ref let him off of his charges, put him back in the game. You know, it's just like, I don't know.
I mean, it is pretty egregious. I think what's going to happen is, because you also can't, the worst part about this is he's betting on the NBA. So if you take the NFL, for example, and he's betting on himself.
Allegedly,
there's
no proof. Somebody in his camp could be doing it. It could be one of his boys who knew he had diarrhea that night, like you in Jamaica. And then he's
low
like,
blow,
all right.
low blow, dude, unnecessary.
He's like, he's not playing tonight, all right, because I know he's got the diarrhea. So with that, right?
Yeah, one of his buddies. Yeah, one of his buddies made him the number one moneymaker in DraftKings for a fucking day. No,
maybe.
No shot. What is his buddy put down? What $5 million on it or something?
You know they got the apps that show the odds, and then like the shark money, and then the public money,
right,
and all that. So people buy into those apps. Like
sure.
I have a couple friends, you know, who may or may not be involved in the betting, and they follow those apps religiously, and they follow what the sharks are betting, and they follow what the public could be betting, depending.
Yeah, it's just
saying.
Complains about his eye, doesn't get hit in the eye. Randomly has an illness a couple minutes into the game. Like, come on,
Vince, he could have drank coffee too close to the game, and
yeah, and
you
then
just
don't
know.
play. Why is it changing 4 minutes?
I mean,
right?
Vince, diarrhea hits quick.
Oh, Mike, I know.
And this is why
I'm aware.
This episode is sponsored by the Beano.
I am aware.
By the end of this episode, Beano will be sponsoring.
Yeah, please, Beano, reach out.
Beano.
There is a connection here that I think we should probably hop into, because Jontay Porter's probably screwed.
Oh, the line.
There's another man by the name of Shohei Ohtani, who, if you guys don't remember, his translator Ipe is now fired. He's no longer his translator for stealing $4.5 million from the man, Mike. Ohtani comes out and says in his statement, he stole it from me. The MLB's investigating. I can't say a lot of shit besides that. And so on. This is essentially what he said. Didn't take any questions.
I would like to make it abundantly clear that the media was not allowed to ask questions.
Yep.
Which is bullshit.
Why?
Because that goes against everything
journalism
ongoing
investigation. It's an ongoing investigation. Why are the
journalists there then, Vince? Why are
to get
they
the story?
There?
To get the story.
Fuck the story. If they can't ask questions, hey, Shohei.
It's an ongoing investigation.
Ipe took $4.5 million of your money, and you didn't notice? You didn't notice. You didn't notice.
Well, like, I know. He's being investigated. Why would he let people ask him questions? He's being investigated.
$2 million, $2.5 million.
Yeah.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine.
Okay, so granted, he has so much money, way more than $4.5 million. Yeah.
He's got Japanese kitty litter money.
It's not insane that he wouldn't notice it off the bat until he looks at an accounting error. Another argument you can make is that it could be open in multiple different bank accounts. Ipe could have had access to them as well. That's the only argument. He said that he did steal. And I will say, via Rob Friedman, the pitching ninja, who did talk about this because he is a lawyer and also a baseball guy. He said that he would be very surprised now if Ohtani was guilty of being the one to bet it, because if you were to go and just say, no, I didn't do it, then the repercussions are much lower than if you were to go and blame somebody else, say that somebody else did it, because then you're subject to libel and other way bigger, way more costly things than just denying it in the first place. I have an inclinacy. I'm inclined to
That's the word.
side with Ohtani here. I think he's might be telling the truth. Or if it's not the truth, it's somewhere near it.
Bro, you dick riding. I get it though. Listen.
Oh, that's okay. To that point, that is also true. I want him to not have done this because I want to see him play baseball forever. He's so fun. But that's also not completely why I believe it, you know?
He could also be a criminal. And here's what I hate, all right? Okay. It's not like, for example, Ipe Udoka. That's his name, right?
No, you just mixed it with Ime Udoka, who used to be...
My bad.
Go
What's
ahead,
his last name?
You said it, Mazuhara, last week?
Yeah, Ipe Mazuhara. There we go.
Yes.
So, Ipe Hattori Hanzo. So with that, all right, he took $4.5 million.
Yes.
Took it, like stole it from Shohei.
That's
Shohei has no idea. Now, to add insult to injury, we know Shohei Ohtani can speak English. It's been proven.
Not well.
He's done, fuck that. He's done interviews in English, and he's been in the States now for over 3 years.
Yeah.
And you don't know the language?
I don't.
You've been in Bro. You've been in MLB clubhouses for 3 years, surrounded by everybody. I don't care. Ichiro Suzuki, by year 3, was speaking English on his own.
This is a very important statement.
Time out. It's
Okay.
very convenient also, Vince, okay, during a time of large questioning to pretend like you don't know the fucking language. I'm sorry. There's so many things in his favor right now.
That's why.
Considering he's bilingual. I don't give a fuck what you tell me. He finished that interview, walked out, looked at his interpreter, and said, "Where are we going to dinner tonight?"
This new one. He started another relationship with him.
Either that or he looked at Mookie Betts. He's like, "Mookie, my dog, where we doing dinner, bro?"
He's like, Mookie bets, so does Shohei. Shohei bets too.
Dude, okay.
My argument to it. Hold on.
I'm not done.
What?
I'm not done.
All right,
Let me finish.
Go.
Let me finish.
Run.
So, with that, it's not like the gambling was done through MGM Bet
Illegal.
or FanDuel.
Yep.
It was illegal offshore betting with a bookie out of LA that had numerous people involved in large circles in an underground gambling ring.
Yep.
Doesn't smell funny at all, huh?
Well, that's
he
like
had nothing to do with it.
That's like all bookies, though, that you're not going legal with.
Go back and look at the games he pitched. Okay, in 2023.
Don't play this game. A lot of people did this bullshit.
There are specific instances of the Padres over under being 5.5.
You can't control that as a pitcher.
That night.
You can't control that to that level. I saw that a bunch, and I'm like, all right, you guys are reaching.
Walks like a duck, quacks like a duck.
That's not that isn't
walks like a duck, talks like a duck. It's a duck.
That's not an even trait. You can't say it's not the same thing. Also, the reason he had a translator is because this is a serious statement matter. If he was just going to go talk about being like a silly little guy, then he would probably just be interviewed as an English speaker. But if I learned Spanish a little bit and then they're like, hey, these allegations, I would be like, no inglés, like Sammy Sosa did. If he did it because he needs to get it across as clearly as possible is why he did that. Not because he can't speak English. We're going to see.
Incredibly convenient. It's incredibly convenient.
I don't know why you want Shohei Ohtani to get kicked out of the
guilty
MLB.
as fuck, but nothing will stick because he's going to be Teflon Ohtani, new nickname. You heard it here first.
They are investigating him, dude.
Teflon Teflon
Okay.
Ohtani. There we go.
Teflon
There's the
Ton.
name.
The
Teflon
Teflon Ton.
Ohtani.
Yeah.
The Teflon Ohtani will not have a damn thing stick to him.
Yeah.
And the only reason I say that is because he is the best thing to happen to baseball
Ever?
since, no, not ever. In the recent 20 years probably, since Barry Bonds was hitting all those home runs.
Yeah. Since steroids.
It's just, I feel like baseball is so turns a blind eye until it's egregious.
Yeah.
How bad the situation is, and then they're like, oh yeah, everybody was right. You and you and you get the fuck out. Not in the Hall of Fame because it fits
Yeah.
our narrative. No more
Yeah.
steroids.
That's still garbage. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
And then
I don't.
before you know it's going to be like one guy gambled, another guy gambled. 4 guys are going to gamble now, and you're going to
Yeah.
see more of this as years come, as gambling's legal,
Well,
and then
yeah.
eventually it'll all become banned.
No, I don't agree with that. I think I know what you're saying. I feel like a lot of people have been doing illegal gambling things for a long time, and there just hasn't been any like recourse or ability to actually track that because there's no actual odds on it. So I feel like people have been doing this illegal shit for a long time. And
Well, the
now
mob's
it's
been
just
around for a long time. So.
right. So now it's just legal. So now people are being found out more easily because they're posting it on legal betting sites. This one is different, obviously, but that's how people are getting caught in doing these things. I just don't know. There's nothing that showed me that he is like he's doing something illegal. I'm a big innocent until proven guilty guy. I don't know if you agree with that, but for me, I feel like he hasn't been proven guilty, so I don't know why we're giving him the guilty badge.
Don't bullshit a bullshitter, Vince. He is so.
So you're a big guilty until proven innocent guy.
No, I'm not. I'm
Seems
not
like it.
necessarily. I'm just saying
If it quacks like a duck and if it walks like a duck, it's a duck, Mike. You're a big innocent till proven or guilty till proven innocent.
It's not going to stick. He's the Teflon Ohtani, and I just disagree.
Well, so nothing's going to be able to convince you that he didn't do it then ever.
Yeah, no, pretty much.
Okay.
I'm not kidding. I
know.
How do you, dude? It's not like $50 was missed out of his account. It was
he doesn't know what $50
$4.5
is.
million.
I'm aware. That's why he got fired.
And he was just like, "Oh, no shit." Oh, okay.
I'm not saying that he doesn't have anything to do with it. I feel
Does
like
he not look at his money and his paychecks that he gets?
probably not as much as he should. Just like every other person that got stolen from, like every other athlete that shit happens to. You know how many times this has happened with financial advisors and money managers? You know how many times that's happened.
Yeah, there could
Kevin
be some
Garnett?
Bernie Madoffs. Bernie Madoff.
Yeah, like
Did
and
it to a
so
lot of celebs.
part of me feels like maybe what could have happened is he gave him the money to pay off the debt, and they're like, hey, we can't do that. Like, you can't do that. So
Bro.
maybe that happened, but that's as far as I'll go, honestly.
He was in that locker room in LA through all of spring training.
Yeah,
Through all the oohs and the ahs.
I know.
He goes from Anaheim to LA. Now we know what his wife looks like. He also has a dog. Okay, that we know what it looks like now.
Dude. She's a baller.
She does ball. She does ball.
Fuck it. Shohei
You know?
Ohtani wife highlights is the best thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, no, for sure. She balls.
Athletes.
With that being said, though, so now all these things are coming out, and now the lights are brighter than ever, being in LA, because this is what they do. Full-blown investigation into gambling on the sport that you fucking playing from your interpreter, who supposedly,
They never said baseball.
Allegedly.
They never said baseball.
You think they understand the general
Assumptions.
construct
Stop with the
of professional
assumptions.
football?
Stop
They're
with
from
the
fucking
assumptions.
Japan. They don't watch this shit.
I mean, wasn't Ohtani at like a basketball game or something like that?
Yeah, is that a basketball game? Because basketball is global. Do you think Shohei Ohtani's going to be caught fucking dead at a Chiefs game? Get the fuck out of here.
Probably not.
No.
Maybe a Rams game.
He was at a Rams game.
Yeah.
But he didn't know what was going on. He
No.
didn't know what down
I'm
it
just
was.
saying if one, they never said baseball. Because if he was betting $4.5 million on himself, like you're saying, like that's fucking obscene, and he wasn't doing
Dude, Pete
it.
Rose used to do this shit all the time.
I know.
I'm
And
just
Pete
saying,
Rose is
if he
still
gets-
signing autographs outside of
if-
Cooperstown. Like,
if
what are we
he
doing?
If he gets off on this, put Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame.
What if he didn't do anything? Right, you
Are
can't.
we to believe that one of the closest people in his life embezzled $4.5 million
Yeah.
without him knowing?
Yeah.
Okay,
'Cause
without
he's one of
him
the
knowing.
closest people in his life. Yeah.
Yeah, until now. I digress. Until now, and then it comes to light, like, oh man, you got caught in some gambling debt for $4.5 million. Here you go. Here's the money. Go pay off your debt. No shot.
That's the furthest I
He
can see
was
it going.
involved in some capacity. He had to know.
I
This
haven't
is
heard
the free-
I haven't heard a good argument yet. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, what much more of an argument do I need, Vince? It's the closest person in his life embezzling money from
Right.
him to gamble on professional sports that he
What are
may
the
or may
only
not
people
play.
that would have access to do so? Is what I'm saying. It needs to be
But
someone
why?
that close to be doing that.
Why would the interpreter have access to a bank account?
I don't know. There could be plenty of
Wouldn't-
arguments to that.
Wouldn't he be a part of, either his agent or whomever it is? He gets his allowance, he gets his salary, whatever that is. Do you know that this fucking guy doesn't even have a degree?
Yeah, that was fake. That was
He
crazy.
has a Fugazi degree.
Yeah.
And you what? So are we going to also say that Ohtani didn't know about his fake fucking degree? No,
Maybe
it's
he
his
didn't.
boy. Vince, if
But
I
they
was a
became
professional baseball
boys.
player and no, they didn't become boys. He came in from Japan with this fucking guy.
Yeah, but it's not like they were boys since they were little, though.
Dude, the writing's on the wall. I'm sorry.
We'll see.
There's
We'll
no
see.
argument to say, because at this stage of the game, it's his word versus somebody else's.
Right.
But I'm just saying the overwhelming evidence of the fact that he knew what was going on is all sitting in front of you. And like I said, he's going to be Teflon Ohtani. You heard it here first.
I
He ain't
haven't
getting
seen
charged
the
with
evidence,
shit.
and if it doesn't come out, like I'm inclined to believe him. I think what's going to happen is that, like you said, regardless, he's going to be Teflon Ohtani, and I'm going to believe that he didn't do anything, and you're going to believe that he did do something.
Right. It's like how you'll never convince me that, Patrick Mahomes hasn't, willed his way into numerous Super Bowl wins, but it's fine.
He's just a talented player. Happy opening day. We're here, dude. Look at the crest.
It's March 28th.
Look at the
Happy
crest.
opening day.
Nice.
The White Sox start with the Detroit Tigers.
Yeah.
Hooray.
If you're
The Cubs
going there today, you might just see me if I can get there in time. You might just see
Go-
me.
Go say hello to Chicago Vince, I guess.
That's
I don't know.
fine.
Are we
Vince
shy-
Glob,
shy-
Chicago Vince.
Vince Glav, Vin Glav. Go say this.
VG.
Go say hi to VG, who'll be bombing around the White Sox game cold.
Colt.
Hey,
Yes.
you know what you can get excited about this season at a White Sox game?
What?
Sure shit isn't baseball. The food. There's a bunch
Yeah,
of new
dude.
menu items. And
You
that's
see that
all they want.
milkshake? You see that damn
Who the
milkshake?
fuck- God.
Diabetes.
Who is
That's diabetes.
who assimilates baseball and be like, man, I want to go drink a milkshake. Let's face it.
Well, when
like,
it's hot.
let's face it. If the White Sox had a milkshake and any other team in the MLB had a milkshake, they'd be drinking our milkshake.
Yeah.
It's true. It's so true. Because our over-under right now in the season,
I don't know
per
yet.
fan-
Let me guess. 65.
65.
Why didn't you let me guess?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Jesus.
Not 65.
65 is my answer.
It's 65. That's
Okay,
our over-under
nice.
on wins on the season. So with
Nice.
all that being said, Vince, are we going over or are we going under?
65?
Mhm. Mind you, there's
Really?
162 games.
I know. I was
in
going
the
to say, the
MLB
question
season,
is,
people.
are we over or under 100 losses? Really is the question. And
I'm going to go with over.
I am too. Have you seen the pitching staff?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
like the back end of the bullpen is Vince Glav and
we
Chicago
need
Mike.
our boy Ian, dude. Get him up here. Like I
Ian,
can't
you
take
could
it.
still do it, bro. If you're listening
Fill
to
the
this, you could
spot,
totally still
dude.
do it.
Yeah, team looks brutal. I do think this is a prime opportunity for a Luis Robert MVP season, so that's what I'm going to be rooting for. Now that the Teflon Ohtani is out of the AL, it's finally his chance to do so. Yeah, no, not a lot of things to look forward to from the White Sox. There's guys on the rosters I don't even know, so part of me feels like I'm not even going to pay that much attention to them specifically. I do have MLB TV yet again, so I'll be watching games.
Sorry, it's horrible. It's horrible.
Got it for free from T-Mobile, so
Oh, nice.
I will be utilizing that a lot. I'm interested to watch these Diamondbacks, Mike. I'm interested.
Dude,
The pitching staff on the Diamondbacks looks pretty nice right now.
I'm excited to check out. I'm really excited to check out the D-backs this season, get to a couple games now that I'm fully here. Go see our White Sox when they do arrive here. Maybe we do that in a group outing. That could be a riot.
That'd be cool.
With all of that, I'm just I'm excited to see. I just might be a Diamondbacks fan this year because I really can't stand just all of this. So to give you an idea right now, the AL MVP odds are leaning heavily towards Juan Soto.
Okay, I believe
those
that.
odds are at 5-1. Aaron Jones is 7-1.
Aaron
Judge.
Oh,
Said Aaron Judge.
Running back?
Corey Seager 10-1. This Luis Robert. This is big. 50-1.
50-1. I mean, shit. Throw a $5 on there. That might be worth your time, man.
So if you put $5, you win $250. There you go.
Easy.
If you put $200, you win 10 G's. Look at us.
I mean, I'm not going to tell you to put $200 on there, but if you do, you might be a richer man.
Now, what you could potentially do is, put that up and maybe halfway through the year he's on Fuego, and then you have it on prop swap, and maybe somebody buys.
That'd be
Just
cool.
saying.
Or if it just lets you cash out mid-year, that'd be sick.
If you had a crystal ball, Vince.
Yeah.
Do we think so? The Cubs are slotted right now. They're over under on the season, if we're looking at that. So I went to enemy territory over the weekend.
Okay.
The last spring training game I went to was at Sloan Park to see the Cubs take on the Brewers. I did root for the Brewers. Hopes everybody is.
Last time I did that, I ended up in a Marquee Network commercial. So watch your back.
Vince is a Brewer guy. We're
wearing Brewers colors right now.
Yeah, Vince is a Brewer guy. His defense of being on the Marquee commercial was just the fact that, he was in Brewers colors and he defended it, and I give him credit. But the Brewers did win. They started majority of their starting 9 that game. Man, I will tell you this. Chris Morel does not look like a third baseman.
I don't think he is. I think
he doesn't look like one.
I think and this actually brings up a bigger conversation too, because Mookie Betts is starting at shortstop this year for the Dodgers.
I love
it. Mookie Betts didn't play a single bit of shortstop in the minors at all. He played second and then moved to the outfield. He's talented and good anywhere, but since baseball is becoming more of a utility, go where you want kind of league, what are we like? Is this a good or a bad trend?
I love it. I think it's great. I think, not defining guys in a square box to play certain positions. Like, he's more than athletic enough to play shortstop.
Oh, yeah.
There's no doubt about it. So with all that, put him at shortstop. He has infield experience. He's fast enough to cover the middle, to cover that gap between third and short. I mean, this is, I think, a wonderful thing. I think he's going to shine at the position. Talk about a guy who might win NL MVP for playing shortstop this year. Just saying.
It's hard to do on that team, though.
Ooh, here's a good one.
Okay.
First player to hit 2024 regular season home run. This is insane. You could
First
bet
player
on
to hit a
this.
home run.
Corbin Carroll plus 3-1, 4-1 actually.
3-1 Corbin Carroll. Well, so the Mets were supposed to be the first game. I know that.
Yeah.
And that got postponed. So
Dude, Orioles to win the World Series. 14-1 right now.
That's pretty good. That's a deep run for the O's, though.
But the O's, dude, look sick.
So you got Angels Orioles starting out the what do you call it? The games tomorrow. Is this going to be an Adley Rutschman bat for a first home run?
It'll be interesting.
Gunnar Henderson?
I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot ball.
Yeah, it's hard. And then you get down to the 4-10 games. You got Giants Padres. You got Blue Jays Rays. Maybe Justin Turner. Josh Turner was the baby lock them doors and that guy. Justin Turner could be the guy. New team, new face, hit a Yabo. Maybe Matt Chapman does it, dude. That's a hard bet. I don't like that at all. Stress me out.
If I told you the Yankees are favored to win their division right now, would you believe me? Even though they're going to shit the bed.
Yeah, I would. My concern is with their pitching and the injuries right now, given that Garrett Cole's out as well. Juan Soto is quite an update on that team, though.
Yeah, he doesn't move the needle for me. I still think he's a one-trick pony.
What? One trick is in what trick? What's his one trick?
Dude, he got signed to the Yankees because this is what the Yankees do. They signed Johnny Damon. They signed Jacoby Ellsbury. They all get there, and they all fall off a cliff.
Well, A-Rod was pretty good on the Yankees.
Yeah, A-Rod. But A-Rod switched to third base. Him and DJ hated each other. Granted, they played the same position. It's crazy to me what happens because of women, especially in sports. All that riff, all that, because like A-Rod and DJ were friends for a very long time. But then like A-Rod was trying to get with the same girl. Shout out to that Usher and R. Kelly song.
Yep.
And then
artist.
Supposedly, it was Jessica Alba. Allegedly, Jessica Alba was.
Don't blame him. To this day.
Yeah.
Woo.
Also, allegedly, Jessica Alba may have the herp. Just saying.
Most people do, brother. Most people do.
Just it could, but hey, I'd potentially risk it all. Anyways,
we should talk about the one-trick pony thing because I still don't get it. He's a 25-year-old. What? 4-time All-Star, 4-time Silver Slugger, MVP votes in 4 of his seasons. Top 10 MVP for 4 of his seasons. 25 years old. I don't understand how he's a one-trick pony. He played 162 last year, Mike. He played every single game.
For a very shitty team. Their pitching
Padres
staff
weren't that shitty.
Well, they didn't even make the playoffs, so...
Yeah, hard division.
There you go.
Hard division.
Excuses. The only thing I'm going to say is this. When these high-profile players sign in free agency to the Yankees, minus Alex Rodriguez, over the past 20 years, it's rare to see them shine.
Garrett Cole.
Mark Teixeira, you could say, great. Yeah, Garrett Cole, he's been up and down, and he's hurt right
Young.
Now. He's been hurt right. Yeah, he hasn't won a Cy Young since he was on the Astros.
He won one last year, bro.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Give these things away anymore like it's like fucking candy. But that was the first he has won. And that with the sticky tack.
Yeah, but that's the best pitcher in the entire AL.
Arguably.
He also almost won one 2 years ago. 3 years ago, rather. He was second.
The Yankees are still going to Yankee, and they're probably not going to win their division.
I'm with you 100%, but but who wins that division, dude? Red Sox, no.
Baltimore Orioles.
Orioles, yeah. Jays are pretty good. Yankees are there. I mean, at the very least, they can
It's
go.
Orioles. Dude.
I know, but the Orioles have a chance. Orioles have a chance to not be
Jackson Holliday's going to start that team's starting to come
September
together.
Call up. Gunnar Henderson's the man. Like, I can see it. It's just he's a
not
big addition.
Be a September call up. Jackson Holliday is going to be he's going to be after the Mark call up. So what is that? June 16th?
Okay.
He'll be up. Dude, he was raking in spring training. He was fucking up professional pitching.
Yeah, he's the man. Yeah, I mean, it's just Juan Soto's quite an addition. I don't think that's something to bat an eye. I do think that's something to bat an eye out. So,
well, they thought Anthony Volpe was the second coming of Derek Jeter. So
yeah, that didn't work out.
No,
That didn't work out.
I'm just saying I don't believe really in what that team is right now. Yeah, you have Juan Soto. Yeah, you have Aaron Judge. Okay.
DJ LeMahieu, pretty good.
Sweet.
Looking at the American League West, Rangers repeat, right?
They have to. Dude, Bochy's got those guys rocking and rolling. He's an
Yeah.
OG. I still think, what is it? Colson Montgomery?
That's
That's
on our
the-
team. Corey Seager?
Corey, no, the
Marcus
pitcher
Semien.
who's holding out. pitcher who's
Dane
holding.
Dunning?
No, he's holding out. He won a World Series last year. He's a Boris Klein. He went to shit ton of money. His name is
Was
preceding
Montgomery on the team by the end of the year?
I forget.
Nathan Eovaldi?
No.
Jordan Montgomery, 2 signed with the Diamondbacks, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So he recently signed. Okay.
Yep.
Well, I would say this. That's a miss for them. But then again, he was a third starter in that rotation. So if that's Dane Dunning or whatever that's going to be, former White Sox legend.
I don't
the
know
Rangers,
what you're talking about. Yeah.
the Rangers will repeat.
Yeah. I don't know about their repeating. Repeating's pretty impossible, but there's definitely a chance.
I'm not saying the World Series meaning winning the division.
But the Astros won the division last year, my friend. That was a
Yeah.
matchup of wild card teams, so I don't know. It's a toss up. All right, give me the NL East. This interesting little move. Braves or Phillies?
Braves.
Has to be.
Chris
Phillies
Sale's
still-
on that team. They're going to win.
Yeah, it's older Chris Sale now.
He's going to totally bring in that rotation. And he's still good, man. He hasn't been healthy in a long time. And if he's fully healthy, I don't care how old he is, he's really fucking good.
And that lineup is nothing to. It is something to write home about, rather. That fucking
Yeah, it is.
English sucks today. NL East, is that the Cubs division or NL Central? Is that the Cubs divisional win?
No shot.
Who?
Telling you, I really believe
Milwaukee?
it's either going to be the Brewers or the Cardinals this year. It's a toss-up.
Cardinals. Don't forget the Cardinals sucked ass last year.
The Cardinals do this. They get we should have resident fan of the pod, Cardinal Zach, on, because he could just give us a rundown of history of how they go upon things. They always have 2 seasons where they're dog shit.
Yeah.
And then they come back in that 3rd season and just remind everybody that they're still great. And I think that's what we're going to see.
Asian roster doesn't look good for me. Pirates might actually have a little bit of a bump. Dude. Pete Crow Armstrong, if he's any good and he's not just a replacement outfielder, I think the Cubs could probably win that division.
I don't think the Cubs are going to win more than 85 games.
Oh, I'd take that over.
I'm not kidding.
I don't know. I'd take that over, though.
The pitching staff is not there. They lost Stroman.
Justin
They didn't
Steele,
really
baby.
replace. I'm just saying, man. I don't think they have the horses in that starting 5 to get them over the ledge.
Okay.
That's my opinion.
Dodgers taking it again in the West? Or are you taking your boys?
Yeah. They're taking
Dodgers take it. Dodgers don't win the World Series. All right.
I
Too
would
early
say
World
the Diamonds-
Series.
I would say the Diamondbacks do take the wild card in the NL. But
Yeah, easy. Dude, that pitching staff looks good, dude. And they added Erod
We'll
from Boston.
we'll see when
Right.
Drew Jones gets to the league, man. Drew Jones is
Yeah.
a rock star.
Talk about
Him
the
and
youth.
Corbin Carroll in the same outfield, man.
Yeah. Quite a defensive showing. And speed
Mhm.
and power. So, we talked about all the divisions. Too early matchup in the World Series. Who wins it all, Mike?
I think it's the Orioles' year.
Okay.
I'm taking the Orioles to represent the AL.
Okay.
And yeah, just we'll hit the easy button. Give me the Dodgers to take the NL.
Yeah. Okay. I like that.
I feel like there's far more parity in the AL than there is the NL. The NL seems to be bought and sold. But then again,
Philadelphia and Atlanta, man.
dude, Philly's been so close, and maybe they all really get it down
Maybe
this year
that's
between
it. Maybe
Schwarber,
that's it, dude.
Turner, and now Bryce Harper's a full-blown first baseman and just
Yep.
hitting fucking tanks.
Nola's got a new deal. Good pitching staff. Alvarado, I think, is still on that team, if I'm not mistaken.
I really hope the Phillies get there. Last year, I really thought they were going to win the NLCS. They've been
Me
so
too.
close over the past 3 years, and it's just not come to fruition. So I do hope that they really just surprise everybody this year, go team of destiny, and just win it all.
That'd be sick.
But it would be sick to see, and I think the Dodgers have that kind of. They got the Maloik real bad.
They're
They get to the first round of the playoffs, and then they're gone.
yeah, they're the Monstars, and they show up and they shrivel up and lose their juice at the end of the year. So we'll see if that happens. I got White Sox versus Reds this year. I'll take the Phillies, and I think the Phillies are going to win it because I like the story. I'll take the Phillies, and I will take the Astros. Rematch.
Of course you would. Of course you would.
Rematch. Phillies beat them this time.
I just hate the Astros so much.
I know, but
I really want.
Astros beat them 2 years ago. They both go back, rematch. Phillies beat their ass. This is the last time the Astros make it to the World Series.
I think by the deadline, they'll add a starting pitcher if I'm the Orioles. And then not only that, Jackson Holiday will be in full effect doing his thing at the next level. So there's no chance in my mind that they're not there. Yeah, it's way too early. So here's a fun prediction. White Sox and Tigers, opening day. What's the temp going to be tomorrow, Vince, on opening day?
I think 55, something like that.
Ooh, it's warm for opening day.
I'm telling you, we've had a mild winter, man.
This isn't winter, Vince. This is the beginning of spring.
I know,
Top
but
Bonnie
this
Phil.
whole time it's been low. Yeah, we're looking at 45, not 55.
The fuck
Is
are
it
you
45?
talking about? It's 35 degrees right now. It's essentially freezing. Oh, it hasn't been a bad winter.
You say it's 35 degrees outside right now?
Yeah.
It's 46 degrees right now.
In Chicago.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it on my phone.
Me too, man. If you look up weather in Chicago, it's 46. Yeah, that's wrong.
How is it wrong?
Because mine's looking at my exact location, dude. You're looking at the city as a whole.
Yeah, because you live in fucking Wrigleyville, and it adds 5 degrees because of the fucking stupid ballpark you live close to. Yeah, whatever. Stupid. Anyways, yeah, blocks the wind from the lake, Vince. But on the south side, you're gonna be freezing your Smaldines off. You
Yeah.
better bring your Mudans.
Yeah, I'll bring my Mudans and my Swallows and my and all this.
Anybody who
I don't know what the hell any of that means.
Mudans are long underwear.
Oh, okay, I'll do that.
If you're listening to this and you've never heard the phrase for what Mudans are,
No one has.
Mudans are long. It's an Italian thing. They're long underwear. That's the meaning.
I like
So
Mudans.
when you have to bust out your long underwear in the winter, you call them Mudans.
Okay. The more you know. Thank you for that.
Just
Much
saying.
appreciated.
Just
yeah,
saying,
I'm going
it's
to be
true.
wearing multiple layers tomorrow if/when I do end up at that game.
And then watch the day after opening day, all the hubbubs. It's like the most expensive ticket you'll ever spend to go to a White Sox game all season.
No, not this year, bud.
Really?
Oh,
What are they?
bad
$20?
news. Bad news. There are
What is
so
it?
many seats available, dude. Oh, you
Yeah,
can get
'cause
a
we
you can get a
hate-
seat for $6 right now.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then
Never
Reinsdorf's
happened.
going to make an argument and say no one wants to come to the games, and that's only the case if you're an asshole and don't know how to run a team properly. So that's what happens when that happens.
I
Not
just
you.
do not have a dime. I do not have a dime to spend on this team. I've spent all my money on the Bulls, so I could never dare put a team on 78. I could never do it. I need your money, state of Illinois. I need it. He did the same thing in 91. He did the same
Yep.
thing. So
We'll see if he does it
why
again.
are we surprised? Opening day, Chicago against the Detroit Tigers. Who you taking? Vince Garrett, Crochet on the bump. First year as a starter.
I think the Tigers might win this division this year, but they're not taking.
Wow. The
Yeah,
Twins are
they're-
actually favored to win the division.
They're a young team, and they're hungry, and they got good young pitching, and we'll see what happens. But I got to go with the team. I'm sorry, dude. I still love them regardless. If I'm at the game, I want to see him win. I'll take the White Sox. Let's say 4-2.
Give me the White Sox winning ugly, 2-1.
There it is. Let's go. And one
we
thing.
talk-
Yeah,
Yeah,
go ahead. No, you're good.
No, you
I'm waiting
first.
for you.
How they should restructure how they look at spring training, because they put these guys in like paradise
Yeah.
for like 2 months
Yeah.
almost, from February to the end of March. Their blood thins out. They're in Arizona or they're in Florida, and every day is like 65, 75. You catch some days in the 80s, and it's beautiful. You see the sun every day, and now you have to go back to Chicago or Detroit
Or New
or
York
Milwaukee.
or
Yeah,
Toronto.
now you got to go freeze your ass off.
Yeah, man.
And like, can you imagine the difference from hitting a 95-mile-an-hour fastball off the knuckles in 76-degree weather compared to 40-degree weather? It's got to be
Nope.
miserable.
I can't imagine that in the least, and I
Ugh.
don't want to. And hey, man, it's the same. It's the Jose Abreu thing. April's not his month, but god damn it, once he starts getting going, he gets going. So
Once it gets hot, it gets hot.
that's the way it is. Now, if you go to a baseball game, Mike,
Yeah.
maybe you have like a special lady. Maybe you have a lady you want to take to a baseball game. You're not going to want to look like a winter shut-in hibernation bum, dude. You don't want that. You're trying to look clean. You're trying to look pristine. And you're trying to look nice. And the only way that you can do that is with Henson shaving.
Shave your fotch, people.
This part of today's episode is brought to you by none other than our friends at Henson Shaving. If you guys have been listening to the show for a while, you already know that we swear by Henson Shaving. We've been using them for months, and there really isn't a better product out there. The Henson razor puts an end to shaving irritation and cuts while also making your skin feel comfortable and smooth. This razor is made by using CNC machines to aerospace standards. That's right, rocket ships, people. That means it's made to very tight tolerances, meaning that the combination of how securely it's held and how minimally the blade is exposed delivers a smooth and safe shave no other razor can offer. It's literally one blade. Be safe. Please be safe. They're very sharp. You twist on the top and you get to work. It's that easy. You remember the beard bet? You remember me shaving off the whole thing? If you need to watch somebody use it, go on my Instagram and check it out because it's really that easy. Cost of ownership averages $88.20 every 2 years, which is essentially $177 less than normal cartridge razors. They're sustainable. It's precise. It's Henson Shaving. It's got a nice weight to it. It's made out of metal. None of this plastic garbage. So please use the promo code THETAXISQUAD, THETAXISQUAD at checkout, and you'll receive a 100-pack of blades free with the purchase of the razor. So you go on the site, you add the razor that you're looking for, and then you add a 100-pack of razors, you'll get those for free. For most users, this amount of blades will last you 2 to 5 years, depending on how often you shave. So that promo code, again, is TheTaxiSquad at HensonShaving.com. Go check it out.
The NFL and the UFL. Well, the UFL starts this week, first week. We're big UFL guys. We'll get into the rundown of what that looks like and how now it relates far more to the NFL. We're going to talk about one team and the team we love the most, being the Chicago Bears.
Bears.
Well, with that, the Chicago Bears were at Caleb Williams' Pro Day.
Yep.
The love affair is in full effect. Ryan Poles and Matt Eberflus have been all over the media rags recently talking about their time in South California.
Southern California.
Yeah. They were there at my favorite college football team's campus, and then they took out Caleb Williams and his teammates to dinner, and they said, this guy is a full-blown team guy.
Yeah.
Now, Vince, I have one question for you.
Yeah.
Are you about ball?
I think so.
Are you about ball? Is ball life? Is it like that old Nike shirt? Ball is
given
life?
the fact that I follow it all the time, and that's the thing I focus on probably more than anything, yeah, I would like to say that I am.
Ball is life. And
Yes.
if ball is life for you, maybe you're just like Matt Eberflus.
Ooh.
I'm going to paraphrase his interview recently, saying that he spent about an hour and a half with Caleb Williams talking ball.
Cool.
And he said that this guy is about ball.
Let's go. He better
So-
be about ball.
Matt Eberflus, I tell you what, he had a full revamp, feel good,
Hot
play good,
guy.
look good.
Hot guy.
He's there now, right? So with all that, the Bears have from a management standpoint, the worst fucking poker face on the planet, because they've been on every rag and they're like, so we're assuming Caleb Williams is going to be the first overall pick. And they're like, I mean, we don't know.
What's there to hide anymore, man? What's there to
I
hide?
mean, he's coming in for an interview the first week of April. He's our top 30, but there might be allegations that he may just get a key to the building. Eberflus in his interview was saying, yeah, we went over a lot of stuff, and when he's back in Chicago, we'll go over all those installs and this and that. You don't say installs if this isn't the fucking guy you're drafting. Sorry.
What's the point of hiding it anymore?
Just
like what?
That first pick, there better not be any drama. It's just like
funny business.
It's like Bears are on the clock. The pick is in. Done. That's it.
Well,
that's it.
Luckily, we have never had any silly business in Chicago for any of the first picks in the draft. That's never happened before. So I hope for our sanity that first pick comes around, Bears pick Caleb Williams, move on. Whatever happens after that happens, but just take him. Just take them. They're going to. Just take them. Just do it. That's the answer.
Yeah. And I'm tired of hearing about all the Justin Field talk. Like, oh,
the
Ryan,
Steeler? Why do we care about Steelers?
Ryan Poles is on record. My son was so distraught. It's one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. No, it wasn't. No, it was not. You were like, get this fuck out of town.
You didn't fire him. You sent him to a better scenario. That's all you did.
Yeah. You sent him to a far better scenario. Whatever it is.
It's the Steelers. They've had more quarterbacks than us.
From an ownership and management standpoint, yes. But considering the situation Caleb Williams is about to be in, I don't know if any rookie quarterback in the NFL has had quite the amount of just full-blown weaponry this guy's going to have at disposal. It's exciting. So much
Knock on wood.
That FanDuel and all the betting rags have the Bears over under at what this year, Vince? Wins.
9.
8.5.
Oh.
How do you win a half a game? I have no idea. You're taking the over?
I'll take the over. I think they're going to win 9 this year.
Well, their schedule is piss poor. It's
a
dead last schedule for sure.
Right.
So I do believe that if he is everything he's cracked out to be, we're taking it.
What division are they playing? What division are they playing in the AFC? Is that a thing, or is that just the MLB?
No,
I'm thinking MLB.
Where get your mind out of baseball?
I'm sorry, it's opening
day. It's opening day, but still. So I just think that it's a done deal, and good riddance to Justin. Best of luck.
Yeah.
You're in black and gold now, so black and yellow. My bad.
Good luck. I want to see him succeed, man. I do.
Me too. I hope one day we play him in a Super Bowl.
That'd be cool.
One day you could get a haul. The haul word is the word. That's the word of this.
The haul.
The haul for a guy like Marvis Harrison.
Marvis? Yeah. Stop pronouncing his name wrong, people.
You should have kept Justin and drafted Marvis Harrison.
You should have drafted that Mark Harris guy. There's so many people. Why doesn't anybody know how to say his name, dude?
There's so many union electricians calling into Chicago sports
radio.
It's
so easy.
Like, listen, they should have kept him.
Marvy Hare is coming, and his dad was good on the Indianapolis Colts.
His dad was real good. Shoot or shoot. Draft the kid,
It's so bad. I hate it.
But no, it's a done deal. It's a done deal.
Yeah, I think so. I'll give them 9, and I love Caleb Williams, and I'm hoping that he's good, and I'm really looking forward to it. He did an interview with Colin Cowherd. I don't know if you saw that. Colin Cowherd, enemy of the show.
Enemy.
Solid composure the whole time. Didn't do anything that anybody else wouldn't do, which I'll take. But if I was on Colin Cowherd, I would just start roasting him. I'd be like, you think the Dodgers should trade some draft picks for Shohei Ohtani? And then just leave it at that.
Well,
which they can do now, by the way.
Nick Wright is also a FS1 clown. I like to call them. Nick Wright is on record of saying the 49ers should do everything in their power to trade Brock Purdy to the Chicago Bears for the number 1 overall pick to take Caleb Williams. Like,
Idiot.
Just shut
Why
up.
would I get that Brock Purdy went to a Super Bowl, but why would we do that?
I don't. Yeah. Oh, I'll take the guy from Iowa State who looks like, a young John Harbaugh and who's moderately talented, but let's
And
face
very
it,
successful in a great system around
wonderful
great
system,
players.
but let's face it, if they get a far better opportunity to draft somebody or get a different, like if they could have signed Kirk Cousins, they probably would have. They just don't have the cap.
Yeah. And
No cap.
granted, brought him to a Super Bowl, could be going back again. Like, again, nothing against Brock Purdy, but why would we do that? That's crazy talk.
No.
Well,
You're not
Nick
going to
Wright's
do that.
also an idiot, though. And I hope he
They're
sees
all-
this. I'm so sick of him.
They're all pretty bad.
Yeah.
Except for Joy Taylor. Joy
Love her.
Taylor's right, even though she's wrong.
We're
whatever.
adamant Joy Taylor fans on this podcast.
One day, Joy, if you ever want to be on the Taxi Squad podcast, you say
Just
the word.
ask. We got
Just
you.
ask Joyce.
We got you.
Just ask Joy. Anyways, Caleb's making his rounds.
Yeah.
He's doing all the media talk. He looks great in front of, the podium. Everybody's talking all this shit about him, saying that he's this and he's that. He's a crybaby. I don't see it. His best game last year
He's a
was
crybaby
against
because he cried. I think that's why that happened.
crying in his mother's arms. Yeah, on national television.
I
but
know.
he
I
was
have no
upset.
hate on it, but that's why people are saying it. He's
Yeah,
also got a knack for style, Mike.
Is he a sty guy? Is he like a
Uh,
millennial, like swag king?
Well, it
he's not
depends.
He's a Gen Z. He's a Gen Z.
He's painting the nails, like we know. He has a sparkly pink wallet and a pink phone case. I don't know if you saw this.
Was that so? He was at the USC women's game, right?
Yes, he was.
He's very good right now in the
Yep.
in the women's tournament.
Yes, they are.
They're rocking and rolling. I mean, Cheryl Miller's there, full effect.
Uh-huh.
King of that circuit, or queen, should
Squad.
I say? My bad. But maybe he was just kind of playing into it that he was at a women's game, showing love, pink love.
Could be.
maybe woman's
I'm cool with
rights.
it.
He is in Cali. Granted, it's quite the blue state. So
Yeah. It's I'm cool with it. Let your freak flag fly, Caleb. Holy moly. Yeah, there's a ridiculous amount of people that are like, Caleb Williams, Pink's phone case, not gonna work out. Like, that is fucking obscene. I don't know. The painted nails thing, another thing where it's just like yelling from the yard as like an old man, like, get off my lawn, you pink nailed boys. Like, it's nothing. It's a nothing burger. It's a 23-year-old? Is he 23?
he's 22 or 23. He's in his very
23-year-old.
early 20s. He's a dog.
Whatever.
Yeah,
Do whatever you want.
You know what? Who cares? Who
Right.
cares? Even if what if he's the first open
Yeah.
NFL player, right?
Yeah.
Fully open other than the other guys, but like the first
Fine.
open star.
Please.
You'd have every Chicagoan totally into it. Just calling
Yeah.
in and be like, Carm, I don't care.
I
He
don't
went for 3 touchdowns. Whatever he does in his personal life, good for him. We're going to a Super Bowl.
Hey, I was watching the game with my boys in the garage. What's the difference? We're all just hanging out. It's just a couple boys hanging out. It's not a big deal,
Just guys
Carm.
being guys,
It's
guys
good.
being dudes. We're fine with it. We're
It's
fine with
good,
it.
dude. And regardless, it's pink. Whatever. You have a
Whatever.
pink. If you have a pink phone, who cares? Because it's a phone. Like, none of this matters. It's a nothing burger. But this is what happens, dude. And it happens all the time. And you're hearing it now. You hear the Jim Harbaugh. J.J. McCarthy's the best quarterback in the draft. You hear all these dudes go up and down. Remember Will Levis was supposed to be the second overall pick last year?
Yeah, but Giudice ruined it, and then the world fell in love with Giudice. Oh.
Yeah, it's all right. I never cared, to be honest. Giudice, whatever. Nothing.
Suck it
Speaking of
for the
nothing
curl
burger.
cast.
Speaking of nothing burger.
Anyways, with that, I have a theory on the Harbaugh hype up of JJ. Are you
Yeah.
ready for this? All right.
Mhm.
So, conspiracy podcast, tinfoil hats, put them on. All right. The Chargers possess the 5th pick in the draft, right? 5th
Yep.
overall. A lot of people are saying they might take Marvis Harrison. A lot of people are saying they might take Joe Alt.
Marvis.
A lot of people are saying they could potentially take Brock Bowers out of Georgia. Now,
Yeah, beast.
I have a theory. He is hyping up the 5th pick in the draft. So somebody swoops in, gives him a haul, bell word, for the 5th pick to come up and take JJ.
Big brain.
Whether that's the Vikings, whether that's someone. Some guys are even saying the Falcons might look at taking him at 8.
Nah.
But I don't personally believe he's out of the top 5. I say if he's still hanging around with the 5th pick, I'm telling you, either that or somebody's going to trade the Cardinals for the 4th pick to come up and take
What
him.
about Penix?
He's a lefty, man.
What about Bo Nix?
Everybody, this happened with Zachy Wilson.
That was
Milf King.
What about Joe Milton? See
Joe
that throw
Milton.
today? You see that throw today? Holy shit.
Joe Milton's going to be a day 3 guy.
For sure, but maybe not. Just based, Anthony Richardson. We talked about Anthony Richardson after the year, and we're like, second rounder, maybe.
Joe Milton is the pure embodiment of just big arm, and that's
Yeah.
about it. He doesn't
Which
process
some guys
the game very well.
just get thirsty over, dude. You know that.
For sure.
It's always possible.
I believe the hype around JJ and the push from Harbaugh. Granted, he was JJ's guy and all that. Yeah, I get it. But he knows what he's doing. He's nobody's idiot. Yeah, no, we're gonna hype him up. Somebody want this pick for the guy I love so much?
Not
That
bad.
I'm not gonna draft.
They got a lot of work to do besides one guy in the 5th overall, you know?
Yeah, I agree. And whether okay, so you got rid of every wide receiver basically on your team.
Yep.
So let's say you move back to 11.
And
let's say the Vikings come up to 5, give you 11 and 23, and then next year's 2nd, 3rd, whatever.
Yep.
Let's say you get the unquote haul, and now you have 15 draft picks, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Now you can really build a team, and the depth at wide receiver this year is stacked. He knows the class better than anybody because he's been coaching against these guys for the past, decade. So it's all there for him to move down the draft board and accrue as much capital as he can to grow the team. And whether, you get Marvis Harris or you get Roma Dunze or whatever that is, you're going to have options.
Mervis Hervis is my new Marvin Harris.
Mervis Hervis. Mervis Hervis.
Oh, you see, the Chargers won't even pick up this Mervis Hervis guy. I don't even understand it.
They're not even going to take Mervis Hervis.
Mervis Hervis. He's an absolute unit.
Oh, man, it's great. Now, the Bears are at 9
Yep.
as well. So they have, 2 top 10 picks this year, which is insane.
Yep.
Where do they go with the 9th pick?
Down.
Who? You're saying down. You're saying they get creative?
I think they might trade it, yeah.
What if Malik Neighbors or Roma Dunze sitting right there? What if they're just like...
I think Roma Dunze will be available at that spot. I think the only way they keep it is if Joe Alt's available at that spot, which he probably won't be. But if you have an opportunity to pick up a left guard with that much size and that much promise, I think left tackle, they're going to do it. And then if they can throw him on the right and they throw Darnell on the other side, and that's quite a bear to be taken care of, pun intended. I think that could be the move. Outside of that, I think they'll probably move back and utilize a couple picks instead of just 1 at 9.
I like it. I still think if Roma's there, you got to take him.
I want him. I do want him personally, but I don't know if we take a receiver now after the Keenan Allen thing.
He's old.
I know, but I don't know if you're using your 9th overall pick for a guy that's going to be your 3rd or 4th option.
I get it. No, it's going to be interesting. That to me is the cliffhanger pick. What do they do at 9?
Right.
That's the pick I'm going to be like, ooh.
Yeah, until the draft starts and it says the number 1 overall pick, Jaden Daniels to the Bears.
Damn it.
Again,
I bought a pink wallet and a pink phone case.
Dude,
for nothing.
Drake May.
Drake
You're
May.
like, oh,
Drake May.
She's like, I want the awesome open non-homophobic choice of Caleb Williams. Like, what are we doing, guys? Come on, get your shit together.
Yes, I agree. No, it's going to be a fun time. We have a draft spectacular ahead of us. And then we also have
Mikey in Chicago draft spectacular is what we're getting.
Yes, coming back to the Shy, and we also have a draft competition on the social medias coming your way. Coming your way. Stay tuned. All right, Vince. So we did our XFL Wheel of Death, aka
you got to start calling it the UFL.
The UFL Wheel of Death.
Yeah.
Last week, if you missed it, sorry, but
go back
and see it. The wheel spun. We got our teams. Chicago Mike got the St. Louis Battle Hawks.
So dumb.
To some might be the Battle Cocks. You pick your type of bird. Vince got the Brahmas. Don't know exactly what it is. Some
San
sort of
Antonio
bowl.
Brahmas. It's either a chicken or a bowl. I think they're going with the bowl. Yeah.
Pick the bull. Take it by the horns. Pull the shit out of it. So we're going to be keeping close tabs on the UFL this year. We're a UFL, XFL, former XFL pod. If you've never listened, and we break down at least our team's either victory or loss.
You want to hear the power rankings right now as Fox Sports ranks them?
Yeah, let's see it.
Number 1, Birmingham Stallions. Alabama getting a squad right now, I guess. Larnell Coleman, welcome to the team there. Arlington Renegades 2. Number 3, DC
Texas.
Defenders. Number 4, Houston Roughnecks. Number 5, Memphis Showboats. Number 6, Battlehawks. So you're 6 on the power rankings right now. I'm 7 on the power rankings. I'm 7, and Michigan is 8. So I am, again, low on the power rankings. I do not need to, but I will remind you that I did get the worst team in the XFL last year. So hoping that doesn't happen again. But Godspeed, you never know what's going to happen. It's the UFL, baby, and I'm jacked.
UFL. Spring football. We're in it to win it with the baseballs. Now, if you've been living under a rock or not paying attention to the UFL rules, they have an interesting kickoff rule.
Oh, yeah.
And we broke down all the rules last year. So if you want to go back to that pod right around this time of year, go ahead.
We broke down to find that, but good luck.
Yeah, no, it's season 3, episode something.
14.
Either way.
13,
yeah, 13, 14. So right around this time last year, we broke it down, and we go over all the rules. We're not going to choose to do that again, but we'll talk about some differentiators in the sport. Mm-hmm. So instead of, onside kicks and all that good stuff, you actually get the ability to get the ball on your 35 and try and get a first or 4th and 15 in that scenario.
Yeah.
So you have 1 down to try and do that. That's their idea of an onside kick, which I think is awesome. So you have 1 play to try and get the ball back, which I think is awesome. Now, not only on top of that, the kicker is used for field goals and only field goals. They don't do extra points. So you can either go for 1, 2, or 3. And that's basically based off 5, 10, and 15-yard line, which I think is also fascinating. The NFL should also try and adopt that for either an after point or 2-point conversion and just make it like a real thing. That'd be awesome. Now, where they're starting to look similar is very interesting. So the NFL recently adopted, and this is not official for the 2024 season. Maybe, allegedly, not yet. But they have adopted.
Approved on Monday is what we know.
It was approved on Monday that the NFL are changing their kickoff rules to the likeness of that of the UFL, or formerly known as the XFL.
And to that we say good.
It's awesome. To give you an idea, last year, 80% of kickoffs in the NFL were not returned.
Snooze fest.
So basically, if you're at a professional football game or you're watching it on the television like most of us, when the kickoff happens, you're either going to get a snack or you're going to the potty. So now you're going to want to watch this. It's going to be electric television. Vince, would you like to break down some of the kickoff rules as far as the UFL?
Sure. So there are, I did it like the guy that's at the bodega in New York. There's different zones, like landing zones, and then there's also different lineup now. So first off, you have to be clear with your intentions on what you want to do. That being, if you want to do an onside kick, then you have to tell them beforehand. So sneaky onside kicks, Gone. Done. Not doing it anymore. No more Sean
Don't know if
Payton
I like
shit.
that.
No more Sean Payton shit. I don't like that, but I do like what we're getting out of it. So there's now like a landing zone between the 20-yard line and the end zone, which is where the ball lands. From that point, the ball must be returned. So now you can have 2 returners in the back, like you'd see a lot more back in the day. And if it's in the landing zone, you return. Now, setup-wise for the players, they're not going to be starting at the line and running when the ball is kicked, which did cause a lot of people to get injured and did cause a lot of car crash collisions, essentially. So, first, kickoffs that go in the end zone and stay in bounds are downed and would give the receiving team the ball on their own 30-yard line.
Wow.
Kickouts that go in the back of the end zone would also be a touchback. Same thing, 30-yard line. Kickoff short of the landing zone would be treated like a kickoff out of bounds, which would put them at the 40.
Wow.
So essentially get it in the landing zone. That's your best case scenario unless you want the ball to start at their 30. So kickoffs will remain at the 35-yard line, but the remaining 10 players on the kicking unit will line up at the opposing team's 40. So this is essentially like a scrum situation where one team's on one side, the other team's on the other, 5-yard area in between. No one can move until the ball is touched by the returner. So this stops people from running 30 miles per hour right at somebody, and now it's essentially like, get past me, man. This is the rule. These are essentially, with a little bit of NFL updating wild stuff, these are the rules of the XFL/UFL now, and we saw a decent amount of returns last year, and it's an overall positive change in my opinion.
20% of all kickoffs were returned last year. That's it. I mean, that's insane. That's nothing.
It's
And
got to be changed.
could you imagine if Devin Hester had these rules?
Yeah. Can you imagine if
I mean,
Devin
granted-
Hester was in the NFL 5 years ago, though? He wouldn't have had any return touchdowns.
Right. Right. So, man, if Devin Hester was in the NFL, like brand new, like how many touchdowns this is going to receive on a special team side is going to be electric.
Yeah.
And as a special teams unit, the rules are clear, and I think that kind of leaves less muddling. I also believe that really this will help engage more new engagement to the game, ultimately.
It's going to look very weird. I think
It's going to look weird, but
initially seeing it, no, it's not even in a bad way, but we're going to be like, this is odd. But once you get used to it, you get used to it, you know?
more action. More
Yeah.
action. I'm all about more action, time for some action. And now there is actually a real consequence if you don't kick the ball to the other team. If you let it go
Right.
out the back of the end zone, they're starting with the ball on the 35-yard line. So,
Which I'll take all day.
no bueno. So, I think this is great for the game. I don't know how you feel about it, Vince.
I love it. I think it's good. I
awesome.
think some of the other rules aren't as cool, but I do think this is a cool rule.
What else happened today? Didn't they, or Monday, they announced more new rules.
Hip drop tackle is now out of the league. And my
Oh.
question is, what do you want defenders to do, man? They
What
have
what
taken out
defines
so
a hip
much.
drop?
You can't.
What the
So it's mostly going to be anybody running from behind. So if somebody gets in front of you and takes off, you're fucked, essentially. You can't hit him in the head still, obviously. The head's a no-go, so nothing above. Anywhere below the belt can get a little questionable. Tight ends are just going to be able to run silly all over. Because any D-back that's smaller has to usually would grab them by the hips and essentially pull them down, a hip drop, swivel, grab them. I'm doing something on camera that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But
How'd that go again?
they can't
There
they
it is.
can't perform that tackle anymore. They also can't perform a bunch of other tackles already, as we know. If you're a defensive player going for a sack and you can't land on a quarterback and you can't pull them down, what are you supposed to do, dude? That's insane. Fields
have
might
no idea.
Fields might go for 1,000,000 yards next year.
These are some of the greatest athletes on the planet. And
Yeah.
now you're getting so specific as to how you need to tackle people.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Jaquan
Like Derrick
Brisker,
Henry.
Yeah,
Like-
yeah, come on, Derrick Henry, try to take him down. Jaquan Brisker did post today. He's like, this is a game where people get injured. If you're afraid of getting injured, like, you kind of shouldn't be playing this game. It's the game, essentially, in a nutshell. So taking this away is kind of just like, I know they're trying to make it safer, but it also doesn't allow anybody to tackle. Like, you're going to be watching defenses that's going to be looking like USC last year, and not on purpose. No offense to you, but they couldn't tackle.
Well, it's true. I won't disagree with that. Their defense was dog shit. But at this point, just put flags on them. Just put flags on them,
Make it the Pro
and
Bowl.
we'll play flag pads, and it'll be fun. It'll be fun for the masses.
It's
I-
how often do you think they can think when they're like, "Oh, guys coming at me, don't do this tackle, don't do this tackle, don't do this tackle, here we go." They don't have enough time to think about that.
It's like, all right, I'm gonna bring him to the ground nice and slow.
Push him in the stomach, don't do anything. Like, that's all you can think of.
It's like that old UFC bit. Grab his dick and twist
Yeah,
it.
exactly. That's how you
Like-
take guys down now, is just cheap shots
Yeah.
to the balls.
Yeah, just I'm gonna punch you squarely in the sack, and good night. I disagree with this wholeheartedly. I think for the handful of plays the guys got injured over the past 5 years on
Yeah.
this hip drop tackle theory, there was a lot of issues with the horse collar tackle when that got
Yeah.
banned, because that was like the first to go. That was more, I think, apparent that, okay, a horse collar tackle, don't pull the guy down from the
Right.
back. That could cause really bad injury. The guy's gone and you jump on his hips and roll. Is that a hip drop?
I guess, yeah.
What qualifies a hip drop? I'd love to see
Right.
the definition and rule of this.
And I've always
NFL
thought
PhD.
NFL refs should have more ability to just make a call that no one understands.
Well, this is becoming the league of offense, and this is what
And
they
this
want. They
will
want more
continue that
scoring,
trend.
less defense. Just put flags on. Okay.
Now, one thing I like,
What do you like?
teams get their challenge back if they successfully challenge a play. That's good. So, allowing teams to receive a third challenge if they have one successful challenge. Previously, you have 2 challenges. Once you use the 2, it's gone. And the Lions submitted that, and it went through.
I like it.
Why wouldn't you
I
give
mean,
it
hey.
back if they're right?
Hey, Motor City DC is out here taking kneecaps.
I think it's good.
They've signed nobody. They've
Yeah.
signed nobody. How
I think
about
they just like their team, man?
CJ Gardner? Just disappeared.
Where's he at now?
Dude, you haven't seen this?
No.
Yeah. He disappeared allegedly. Yeah. It's not. Oh no, it's the other guy. I
Oh,
forget.
I was like, what did he do? Green
No,
Law?
yeah, I think so. It's
This is crazy. We're learning in real time. Or not Greenlaw. Who? Oh no! Someone tell us. Even though we're already recording this, this comes out tomorrow.
Cam Sutton.
Cam Sutton.
Cameron Sutton. What we know about the NFL player. So allegedly, he was
Arrest warrant.
arrest warrant for domestic spousal abuse, and they haven't been able to contact him or find him in weeks.
Oh boy.
A lot of people are saying he's potentially.
Hopefully not.
I hope so. I
Mike
hope
Tomlin
not. No,
reached out. I mean, yeah, it's a scary scenario.
it's very
Um,
scary.
Hopefully, all is in the most positive manner. But this is scary. Yeah, I did not know about this till
Let-
right now.
Let's talk about the NCAA tournament, shall we?
Yeah. Shall
It's
we,
that time.
dude? So, the NCAA tournament has been electric. We'll get into it in a couple, but I have 2 things I want to say first. Number 1, Ice Cube's in the news today, Mike.
Did he
Ice
have a
Cube-
good day?
He did have maybe. It depends on how this goes. Ice Cube, one of the owners of the Big 3 tournament, has offered Caitlin Clark $5 million to join the Big 3.
She should take it.
And to that, I say, why wouldn't you? Like,
Take
I
the money and
know
run, sweetie.
she's the most important she's going to be as far as, like, women's basketball is concerned in today's environment is in the NCAA. The WNBA just doesn't get the same amount of play. Everybody knows this. Like, maybe sometime in the future, but I don't think so, and I don't know. If you're offered $5 million, she's going to get offered somewhere in the $300,000, $250,000, $300,000, I think. I'm not 100% sure about what that is, but it's $5 million way more than that to go join the Big Three. I don't think it's a bad idea, man. I really don't.
No, she'll make more money than playing in the WNBA.
So why not?
Yeah, go where the money is, sweetheart. I think that's genius marketing by Ice Cube, first and foremost, to get the Big Three going, because it kind of fell off.
But it's been going, so he just wants to keep it going, I think, which is the move.
Yeah, I think this is a nice play because she'll fill the seats. I mean, look at her effect in just women's basketball across the board.
Yep.
So that's been great. Iowa's been very good in the women's tournament. Also, I mean, you look at teams like Stanford, wow. You look at teams like UConn, of course, wow. And then South Carolina, they're also crushing. Fun fact. My wife is 95% on her woman's bracket.
It's a lot of chalk, yeah.
Girl knows her.
Let's go.
Basketball. She predicted that thing almost to a T.
Did she predict LSU?
Dude, she has a couple of losses. I mean,
so I'm asking this because have you seen what's going on in LSU right now?
What's going on?
The mentioned LSU Tigers squad in the women's basketball game right now. Squad. Angel Reese coming back, doing what she does. What a team. Kim Mulkey. Kim Mulkey's the coach of the team. She is kind of going scorched earth right now, dude. Washington Post doing some research on a hit piece against Kim Mulkey, and she is pissed. She's talked about it with the media. She's talking about it literally all of the time now, saying, oh, the Washington Post is coming for me. They don't know what they're talking about. No one's seen the Washington Post piece yet. She's trying to get ahead of it, and it's coming off like, hey, you probably did something, right? Like, if you're freaking out this much before it comes out, you might be guilty, Cam. Like, I don't want to say it, but
what did she do? Do we know?
I don't know. It's like there's none of the information's come out yet, and it's kind of being spoken in like weird language. She said she'll sue the Washington Post if they publish a fake story about her. So no one really knows what it's entirely about. I think you could still write that without getting sued. It's supposedly the story's not going to be in a positive light, obviously, but you can't come and go crazy before the story comes out, right?
I don't know. I feel like if your team's in the tournament right now, that takes away of the focus on your team, doesn't it?
Right.
I mean, well, once again, Vince, innocent until proven guilty.
I agree.
Like Shohei, just like Teflon Ohtani.
I agree, but my concern is she's going hard right now, saying like they're writing this about me and blah blah blah, and again, it hasn't come out. And if you freak out this much trying to deny it before anything comes out this much, part of me feels like you're trying to get ahead of something that you know is coming because you did it in the first place, you know?
Either that or who knows what it could be. Maybe she had a relationship with a player. Or
something crazy like that. I mean, she's a very talented coach, obviously. She's the coach of the best team in the country right now.
Yeah, maybe she's fooling around with Brian Kelly and his family.
That would be...
Who knows? Wouldn't that be nuts?
Family, goddamn.
Gross.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's wild. From what it supposedly it's about, and again, don't quote me on this. This is alleged, but it could have something to do with her being excessively mean and possibly saying things to players that you shouldn't be saying as a coach. Besides that, I don't really know what else it could be, but
I grew up in an era of coaching where, they would call you many derogatory things and you just...
No, I agree. I agree.
Movie.
The thing for me, though, is this story comes out. Yeah, some people see it. Now this story comes out and everybody's reading it. She made everybody read that story now. So regardless of what she says, a lot more people are going to have a changed opinion on this lady come the next, couple weeks.
Yeah, I don't
Granted,
disagree.
the Washington Post does hit pieces all the time, and they're the worst, and they're usually somewhat false. So I'm not going to say I'm siding with the Washington Post, But I am going to say that she's making a mountain out of a molehill now, and I think she's going to come to regret it.
I could see that. I could definitely see that. Well, we'll see. Time will tell. Let's talk about the
Tim!
tournament. Let's talk about what's important.
Basketball!
Basketball. Give me.
Give me the ball, because I'm going to dunk it!
Yeah.
This national, or not national, excuse me, March Madness has been pretty chalky, Mike. Pretty chalky. Lots of 1-2s. Lots of 1s, 4s, 1s, 5s. That's what we're looking at right now in the Sweet 16, and I don't mind it very much because it has been electric. I got plenty of things that I want to bring up already. Do you want to start it off here, Mike? You got anything you want to talk about here?
I guess I'm just really disappointed in the fact that my bracket was busted within an hour.
What was your first one to break?
Well, there was a lot, but there's a lot to unpack here.
Yeah.
And we'll get into it. Probably shouldn't have picked McNeese. Looking back, probably a dumb one.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably a dumb one. BYU, massive disappointment. Who would have thought they would have lost to Duquesne? Drake, wow, just Drake disappointed all of us. Drake looked to be the team.
I was ready for them to get to the Elite Eight, dude.
Yeah, and then Florida, man, just wow.
Yeah. I mean, you're gonna get that. Kentucky, man.
It'll happen.
Kentucky's the big thing.
Vince, you were so high on Kentucky. You were like, no way.
I thought Kentucky was the most talented team, but also a young team. And that's kind of what I said, and that's kind of what happened, but I didn't think that was going to actually happen to them, which could bring news from another matchup that we'll get to because that's coming up here. But Kentucky, going down. I don't mind the way that they went down just because I'm like, hey, this is kind of fun. Like it's kind of fun to see a team take down a blue blood like that. But overall, it's like, it's about Jack Olke, and Jack Olke's the goddamn man. This happens once a year, every year. I think we talked about it last year too. There's one white boy that's going to be an accountant or like something else, just some business-based white boy that comes out and just starts balling. So Jack Olke had an absolute heater against Kentucky. Oakland, not to be confused with Oakland, California. Oakland, Michigan is where this team is from. Oakland, Michigan is where Jack Olke plays. Jack Olke essentially beat Kentucky on his shoulders. Did lose to NC State against that big beast in the middle for them. But one thing that I know a lot of people saw, and Kirk Goldsberry posted it on Twitter, but Jack Olke, 347 3-point attempts this year. 8 2-point attempts this year. Jack Olke lives behind the line, 37.5% from three, which in college is good, but if you're shooting that much in the NBA, you better be hitting 40. You want to be that 50, 40, 90 move. But yeah, Jack Olke's the story totally from the first round.
I guess immediately after that game ended, mind you, he broke an NCAA record for threes.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Which I believe is 10.
Yeah, something like that. It's all getting mushed in my brain now.
It's sanity.
Yep.
He had NIL deals immediately.
Right when he walked out, he had a commercial the next day.
Good for him for making that money. I mean, chances are this is his one way to now start really making some cash.
Yeah, he's not going to the league or anything.
No, chances are he's going to be an accountant. But that's the joy of this. That's
right.
The joy of what we see. And you know what? In a way, I kind of like to see Calipari get stomped on a little bit.
He might get axed this year.
I could see it happening. Not many people like that guy.
Yeah.
So with all that, I really thought that was the story, but I think we could also look at NC State being kind of just that underdog team that not many people are thinking about. And right now, I think they actually have a shot. I really do. I think they have a
like
chance
them.
Me too. I mean, they'll play on Friday, and they're going to go up against Marquette. And part of my bracket is still alive here, so I'm pretty happy about it. And we'll see. I had NC State and Marquette in my bracket with us, and I also had Illinois and Iowa State. So I'm not far off. This could happen. This could legitimately
You know
happen.
why I like NC State, Mike?
Why do you like NC State then?
DJ Burns.
Big
Have
boy.
you been watching this guy? Absolute
looks like a
fucking
defensive-
lineman. He's
Yeah.
a lineman.
He just throws his weight around.
He's so fun to watch. Part of me, like, wild brain in my head's like, I kind of want to see them to get to the Final Four against Purdue. So it's just DJ Burns versus Zach Edey, just big boys in different directions, just going at it. DJ Burns gets no foul calls because it looks like he's just bullying people in the middle, which is kind of cool, but it is unfair to a point. Like,
He's like the largest guy in like a rec league.
Yeah.
That's what you could compare him to. He's like the biggest person on the court in a rec league.
He's like Big Baby Davis before Big Baby Davis started shooting porn, you know?
Wait, what?
Yeah, he's a porn director now.
He is?
Glenn Big Baby Davis shoots porn.
You're fucking with me. Are you serious?
Swear to God, wouldn't lie to you. Wouldn't lie to you.
Like Glenn Big Baby Davis who licked his lips a lot?
Yeah. Celtics legend, Glenn Big Baby Davis.
Oh,
Clippers
my
player? Yeah.
Lord.
Yeah, he shoots porn. Yeah, go check out his work.
Ew.
So to give myself a bit of credit, my West and Midwest brackets perfect. Pretty crazy.
Yeah, everybody thinking Kansas would get dropped. I mean, wow. But Gonzaga, man, they've come on really strong and they have a shot, man. They're always right there.
Hey, man, small
They're always
religious
that team
school on
that's-
the West Coast all of a sudden goes to, 8 Sweet 16s in a row? I think this is the longest streak outside of Duke and Kentucky. So you got to give them their honors.
You got to give the Creighton Blue Jays their flowers, too. Those guys have been balling.
Yeah, they're the thing is Gonzaga's got a couple guys from Creighton, or at least one guy from Creighton from last year. And they're both, doing their job. So you can't really hate on it. You got to love it. We're at a point now where it's like, it's chalky. Yes. You got a lot of 1-2 matchups. You still got storylines. So the first things first, we talked about this a little bit before we got on camera, but Texas A&M versus Houston was my biggest heartbreak game of this year. I thought Houston does have a chance to lose because their defense was really good, but their offense wasn't great until the end of the year. And Texas A&M buzzer beater to move it to overtime, and they couldn't knock down their free throws, and that ended up being their demise. I really wanted to see A&M win, and I'm not a Texas A&M fan at all. So this is just based on vibes, and I was locked in, sick as a dog, locked in.
Well, how about Tennessee, Vince?
Yep. Their squad.
One of your orange teams is moving on. Could be a thing. I do really like Houston's team, though. They have a guy playing injured right now, so you got to love that. He had a fire night. Don't even know his name. Hit like 7 threes. He was unstoppable behind the arc. So to the point, though, you got to make those shots at the charity stripe. You got to do it, man. You got to do it.
I told you about Dalton Connect, right?
Yeah.
Dalton Connect did everything in his power to lose to Texas. Dalton Connect didn't make a damn shot. He was just missing from everywhere. At the end, he ended up connecting on a couple, making a couple free throws, moving them on. But if they want to beat Creighton, they sure as hell better start having him make the ball, and if not, stop giving him the ball because he is a ball hog at the end of the day. So that'll be tough. But I will say, your team is in this right now. You have U of I. I told you they've never made a Sweet 16 since 2005. You picked them that this year's the year they change it, and goddamn if they did. My team, Arizona, my team in this tournament, Arizona, moves on to and plays Clemson. I can't believe Clemson's a good basketball team. Just can't do it. Doesn't make any damn sense to me. So
yeah, I don't think they're getting past. No way. I don't think they're getting past this round.
Well, this is basketball versus football schools in the West bracket right now. It's North Carolina versus Alabama and Clemson versus Arizona. I'm sorry, people, but I want to talk about the undisputed number one seed, the number one seed above all number one seeds, the UConn Huskies versus.
They look really good.
Does this matchup look familiar to you, Mike?
It does, Vince. Looks very
Why
familiar.
is that, Mike?
Looks oddly familiar, Vince. Because, if I'm not mistaken, This was a championship game many moons ago.
This
UConn
was a
San Diego
championship
State.
game last year, buddy. This is
Really?
a rematch of last year's championship game. Should be exciting. I'm going
Goes
to
to
take
show you how
UConn.
much I paid attention last year.
Yeah. No, I mean, no one remembers the matchup from last year, honestly, unless you're like a huge hoop head. But regardless, UConn, they're so good. They're coached so well. I heard a thing today that I can't help but agree with completely. You can play a 95 to 93 game, and UConn's going to win that game. You could play a 59 to 50 game, and UConn's going to win that game. UConn can beat you any single way possible.
They look just as good as that team that won it all with Ben Gordon and all of them. And what was it, Kemba at the time?
That was two different times, but yes, they both won. I don't know if Ben
Just
Gordon
a
won, but
powerhouse.
Kemba did.
Just
Yeah.
a powerhouse. Connecticut's powerhouse.
The only way they're going to lose is injuries or people fouling out. Other than that, I don't see how they lose.
Now, mind you, my Final Four could still be alive, which is UConn, Illinois, and then Houston, Marquette. So it could still happen.
One thing I'll say about Houston and Duke, Duke has a lot of young guys. Houston has a lot of 3-4-year guys. If you're going to be leaning on one thing or another, maybe Duke's a little more talented, but I'm taking Houston all day because you got grown men that have been there before versus guys that, are maybe a little bit too green. And that's usually what happens to Duke when they have 1 year, one and done players. So, could happen.
Coach K out. We'll see. It's going to be interesting.
Hey,
I think
local man John Shire in, huh?
Yeah. Could be. This is the time of year where it's like, I'm just here for the games.
Yep.
I'm here for watching great basketball, great defense. It's played. The game of basketball, I think, is the most organic in this tournament.
Oh, yeah.
And ultimately, I do believe Purdue is going to go all the way.
Do you?
I just don't know any team that can. I mean,
It's
Gonzaga
not that
might have a
fun to
shot.
watch, man. It's not that fun to watch.
Well, they were on fire.
They
What was
were.
it, Sunday or Saturday night? I mean,
Yeah.
that game wasn't even close.
They're so
And then-
good. It's just not fun to watch.
And then Northwestern put up a valiant effort, but UConn
Yeah.
just smoked them. It's going to be a fun tournament for Thursday, Friday, and then we'll see what the Elite Eight brings on Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah. I got, right now, if I'm a betting man, I got UConn, Illinois. I
Okay?
got Houston. I'm going to take NC State still because DJ Burns is my
'Cause-
dog.
Okay.
North Carolina beats Alabama. Arizona moves on. So you got a 1-2 there. And then you got Purdue. And then you got Tennessee. We got a 1-2 there. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen.
So I like Marquette. I still think Marquette's full effect.
I can't take them because they're supposed to be my rival. It pisses me off.
Why are they supposed to be your rival?
DePaul, but DePaul's so bad that they're not even a rival anymore.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's like
But
the
that's
Bears and
DePaul's
Packers.
rival, dude. I know, but would you want to see the Packers win a Super Bowl?
No.
Right.
I've lived through that.
Exactly. No
Yeah.
thanks.
Okay. So what is your prediction for the Final Four? And then are you still rolling with your bracket?
Yeah, Arizona's winning. Arizona's winning. I have my Final Four right now was Drake, Arizona, Kentucky, Tennessee. Not going to happen. I'm going to keep Arizona and Tennessee on the bottom. I'll move to UConn, and then on the right side, NC State versus Houston. You got to have one, right? You got to have one.
See, I've switched. I thought Illinois
Ugh.
was going to be it. I don't think there's any chance anybody's beating UConn. I just don't see it.
It's hard to see.
They're so well coached. I think they do it again.
Yep. I mean, that's the beauty of this. It's a one game, winner takes all. So anybody can win, but goddamn if UConn doesn't look like it, they're definitely the best team in the league. Like it just is what it is.
Yeah, no, they look hands down better than anybody in all of this tournament. Purdue, I think they're kind of a potential team of destiny since they got bounced. And you know what, I think Zach Edey's got that look in his eye of a Neanderthal on a mission.
Yeah, for sure.
And any interview he gets into, it's just like no,
Like a bear.
no, like a Neanderthal. But he's just, we're on to the next game. And that mentality, I think, will get them very far.
And
So
by the time we record next week, bud, it's over. We'll see who's right. We'll see who's wrong. I'm taking Arizona to win it all. You got UConn?
I'm rolling with UConn. As much as
Yeah.
I'd love to see U of I, Iowa State's still a really good team. Don't sleep on them.
Yep.
I do think they beat Iowa State. I think it's going to be a very close game. U of I, Iowa State. This is the fun part of this tournament.
fun.
Now, I will say this, though, and I don't mean to end on the negative, but this tournament, as opposed to last year's, to me, it's lacking.
It's chalk,
if you
bud.
would-
I'm telling you, it's chalk. You're getting
If
1-2s all over the place.
If you would have picked every favored team
Yeah.
minus 5 of them or whatever it was
Yeah.
in the rankings, you'd be doing A-okay right now.
It's admittedly
I-
chalk, yeah.
Yeah. So as opposed to other years, I do kind of miss the parity. That's why I really like the beginning of the tournament. The rest of the tournament kind of becomes lull. I love this time of year, though, for college basketball and
Yeah.
for basketball as a whole, because then
You know-
after this, it's just like professional basketball. Nobody gives a shit about professional basketball
this is when
during
it
this
starts,
time, mind you.
dude. This is when it starts.
I get it, but like,
We're not
that's my
talking
hope.
about this. We're talking about the NCAA tournament. The only thing I will push back on you is I like that there's still storylines. You still got a Dalton Connect in Tennessee that can go off at any time. You still got Purdue with Zach Edey that no one knows if he's going to be an NBA star, but goddamn if he's not a college star. You got
You
North Carolina,
don't-
Alabama, Nate
You don't-
Oates. No, I don't. There's a really big chance that he's not that good in the NBA. Maybe he might be, but there's a reason that he's playing so many years in college, and that's why. Clemson, Arizona, fun matchup. No one saw Clemson come through. No one thinks of Clemson as a basketball school. Look at them go. You got last year's rematch. You got a Big Ten matchup in Iowa State, Illinois. Houston, Duke, young versus old. Like, you have storylines. You have competitive teams, and, like, there's going to be good games down the line. So I agree with you that it sucks that there's not, like, those, like, you only have one 11 seed. You only have one double seed now, and everybody else is about 1 to 5, essentially. I still think there's a lot of cool storylines to follow as this keeps going.
Well, Vince, to your point, by next week, we will have crowned our championship.
Drew Chains.
And is it UConn? Is it Illinois? Is it Arizona? Is it Purdue? We will see.
We shall see.
The anticipation's killing me. Well, as always, people, we appreciate you coming in, listening with us, enjoying the time. You know the drill. If you're on any major platform, just give us a follow, maybe throw a comment out at us.
Yeah.
Should also, hit that little bell if you're listening on the YouTubes. Hit that little
Ding.
bell
Do
or
it.
follow or rate it if you're on any other platform other than the YouTube, like a Spotify, like an Apple Music. We'd appreciate that. And then, as always, this is the year of the siblings. If you got a brother, if you got a sister, maybe it's your brother's birthday.
Just
Big
like
4-0. Maybe it's your big brother's birthday. Shout out to Richard. Happy birthday. Happy 4-0.
Happy
You
birthday.
just restarted 20 now, Richard. I'm just saying, you just started 20 now.
Run it back, Turbo.
And as always, people, we'll see you next week.